Welcome to the FIYAH, a lifestyle podcast. Get inspired by our latest tips and information about small business, entrepreneurship, natural hair, travel, food, and even relationships. Stay tuned for another great episode. I am your host, Renee Patrice. The land of wood and water is tearing up the Olympics. And y'all ain't ready. Welcome back to my podcast. Thank you so much for tuning in once again. Like the intro says, Team Jamaica is tearing up the scene. And I'm so proud of Team Jamaica, especially to the ladies, the women's 100 meters. Oh, that was a race. Woo! Today's actually a lot of races today too. Have not seen all of them yet. I know the time difference is off with Tokyo. It's like 13 hours. I think they're ahead of the East Coast. So I know it's really hard for people to really pay attention to what's on and what's not on and who's doing what at what time. It's a little confusing, but I usually try to at least catch up on it late night or early morning type of thing. But I really want to, shout out Team Jamaica. Big ups to y'all because you're repping us so proud. Team JA is doing their thing. Special shout outs to Elaine Thompson-Herah, Shelly Ann Fraser-Price, and Sharika Jackson. They took gold, silver, and bronze in the women's 100 meter. Listen, people know that Jamaicans don't play when it comes to the track and field, but this was historic. Absolutely historic. It was just so amazing. And for us to be going into Emancipation Day, if you guys are not familiar with Emancipation Day, I'm going to read a passage that I found that I think explains it really well so that people can understand. I know there are other countries who celebrate Emancipation Day as well, but I wanted to kind of give a little background on this so people can kind of, get a little bit more of an understanding of, my family background and history and everything. So, Emancipation Day was reinstated as a public holiday by Prime Minister P.J. Patterson in Jamaica in 1998 after a 6-year campaign led by the late Professor Rex Nettleford. It was discontinued as a holiday when Jamaica gained independence from Britain in 1962. However, at that time, it was not a national holiday, not officially. The holiday is more than just a welcome break from work where one can lounge around and relax in preparation for Independence Day weekend for Jamaicans of African descent. The day is a very important date in their history as a people because it represents the time when their forebears were freed from the shackles of chattel slavery. Emancipation Day is also celebrated in most other English-speaking Caribbean countries and also in the French-speaking countries of Martinique and Guadeloupe. The United States of America, Canada, and South Africa also recognize the day. August 1st, 1834 marked the date when all children under the age of 6 were deemed to be free, but all other slaves were deemed to be apprentices and forced to work 40 hours per week without pay as compensation to their owners. Full freedom was not given to all slaves until 4 years later in 1838. In Jamaica, a people would traditionally keep vigils July 31st, and at midnight, church bells would ring out and drums would play in parks and public squares to reenact the first moments of freedom for enslaved Africans. On Emancipation Day, there was a reenactment of the reading of the Emancipation Declaration in town centers, especially in Spanish Town, which was the country's capital when the Emancipation Act was passed in 1838. Emancipation Park was opened on the eve of Emancipation Day, July 31st in 2002, and it is named in commemoration of Emancipation Day. In 2003, the 11-foot bronze sculpture named Redemption Song by Jamaican Laura Facey was unveiled at the main entrance of the park. The sculpture comprises a male and female statue gazing to the skies, symbolic of their triumphant rise from the horrors of slavery. Facey said she was inspired by the words of national hero Marcus Garvey and later reggae legend Bob Marley. None but ourselves can free our minds. The first country in the world to commemorate Emancipation Day as a national holiday was actually Trinidad and Tobago, and they did so in 1985. It was brought on stream to replace Columbus Discovery Day, which commemorated the arrival of the European explorer at Moruga, I think that's how you pronounce it, on July 31st, 1498. So there's a really rich history with that. I know that there has been, I'm not going to get too deep into this because I'll probably do another podcast episode about this, but I know there's kind of been a divide lately, especially when it comes to reparations and the American descendants of slaves, the ADOS, basically Black Americans that have, Black American parents who are the direct descendants of African slaves. Africans who were enslaved. I think that's something that we need to train ourselves to say, enslaved. And I know there's kind of a divide there. And for me, I'm born in the States, but both of my parents are Jamaican. So I would not qualify for what ADOS would qualify for. I would have to take that up with Jamaica, Great Britain. You know what I mean? So it's different for me. I absolutely support it and I want to see it happen. But we all have to realize that all of our histories are intertwined in some way. And I definitely will speak, more on the subject of that. But we have to understand that all of our histories, wherever you come from in the world, are somehow overlapping with each other because we're human beings after all. And people have gone from country to country, explorers from place to place. We've had, unfortunately, enslaved individuals taken from their motherlands to other places. So no matter how we got to where we were, no matter, the circumstance that got us there, the bottom line is we're still here and we're still thriving and we're still building and doing everything that we can to keep our traditions and our things, that we hold dear alive, and I know that it's very hard for, especially for Black Americans in general. And I'm talking about Black Americans whose parents are also American as well. I know that it's very hard to find a place in history because the history has been so ravaged, not for no fault of your own, and I'm definitely sensitive to that. I'm absolutely sensitive to that. And like I said, I will dig deeper into this in another episode. I really want to just highlight Emancipation Day and the fact that, Team Jamaica is just killing the game right now, and it's just amazing that it's happening all around this time. And Jamaica's independence, of course, is coming up in another few days on August 6th. So I just think it's amazing. It really is. And then August is also my birthday month. So hey, Leo season is in full effect, just so you know. But yeah, I think it's just such a great thing to see just Black people in general, or just the African diaspora, flourish, even all that we have been through. There's not a Caribbean island that doesn't have a story. You know what I mean? If you are connected any way, shape, or form to the African diaspora, there is always a story. There is always something that has gone on in the past. What we have to do now is take all these horrific things that have happened in the past, that we are not denying that they are not horrific, and they need to be addressed, and they need to be recognized, and compensation needs to happen. Absolutely. I truly believe this. But we need to take all of that and make it our strength. Don't make it the thing that divides us. Don't make it the thing that makes us argue in chat rooms and treat each other unkind, in an unkind fashion. I just, want us to band together. We're way stronger together than we are separated and sprinkled all over the place, So happy Emancipation Day to my second home. I have two homes. I have America and I have Jamaica. Thank God for the upbringing that I had. I'm very proud to be a Caribbean American. I'm very proud to be a part of this. Part of the African diaspora to me is so important, and I will never not rep my people. You know what I'm saying? I will never not. I've never felt bad, ashamed, but I rep all day, all the time. So I am so proud of Team Jamaica. I know they're going to tear it up again today. There's many different races that are happening today. A lot of track and field stuff is happening today, August 1st. So good vibes to all of those folks that are participating in today's events and the rest of the events that are happening, because we still have several more days before the Olympics comes to a close. So thank you so much, Team Jamaica, for repping us so amazingly. Just even to make the team is huge. This is years and years of practice and honing your craft, to be able to do this. And for all of the teams, all the countries, it is a lot for these folks, to get to where they are, to get the sponsors and, the help that it is, and the money and the time and the coaches and everything like that. It's a whole lot. It's a whole lot. So shouts out to Jamaica. Much love to our U.S. team and what they are doing. Special little love to Simone Biles, because I know she's going through it right now. So, we got to lift these people up. You know what I'm saying? This is not just entertainment. This is their livelihood. This is what they work their whole life for, for these accomplishments, and these things that they have, perfected and put out there. This is their everyday job, and I said before in another episode, we need to be a little bit more kind to each other and grant each other a little bit more grace in this life, But again, thank you so much for tuning in. If you want to continue the conversation, feel free to contact me. I am on social media @me. Let me know that you're listening to the podcast. Repost it, share the link, all that good stuff. If you want to find me, social media is probably the quickest place, @Onyx Queen Media on all socials. And yes, I am on Clubhouse as well. A few of you have already found me on Clubhouse. Very good. So, follow me on Clubhouse. I'll follow you back. And let's keep this conversation going and enjoy the rest of these Olympics. I'm definitely tuned in. Definitely, I think the easiest place to see what's going on with the Olympics for me has been Twitter. So if you guys are having a tough time, I would follow the official Olympics Twitter handle. Just Google it up and search it, and because they give a really good rundown every day, and you can kind of keep track of your favorite athletes in different countries. So again, happy Emancipation Day. Go Team JA. I'm definitely watching out for you guys. Thank you so much for making us super, super proud. I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.